Africa's richest man, Aliko Dangote, today met with President Emmerson Mnangagwa at State House in Harare, a high-level engagement that culminated in the signing of a memoranda of understanding between the government of Zimbabwe and the Dangote Group. Now, the agreements mark a major step in strengthening economic cooperation as the billionaire industrialist explores multisectoral investments that are set to transform Zimbabwe's industrial and energy landscape. Ibn Mabunda gives us more.
Now, President Emmerson Mnangagwa received at the State House Africa's richest man, Aliko Dangote, with a net worth of over $30 billion, where it is that they discussed various investment prospects in Zimbabwe's economy, which culminated into the signing of Memorandum of Understanding between the Dangote Group and the government of Zimbabwe. The MOUs witnessed by President Mnangagwa were signed by Finance Minister Professor Multisectoral on behalf of the government and Mr. Dangote representing his multinational conglomerate, Dangote Global. The agreements mark a major milestone in Zimbabwe's investment reform agenda as Dangote Group, West Africa's largest industrial conglomerate, expands its footprint into Southern Africa. Dangote commended President Mnangagwa's administration for implementing pro-business reforms that have boosted investor confidence and created a conducive environment for large-scale investments.
Well, yeah, there are quite a lot of change between that time when we came and now. Government is solid. There is a lot of, transparency. And also, when you look at what His Excellency has actually done in terms of turning the economy around.
Under the new partnership, Dangote Global will inject capital into cement production, fertilizer manufacturing, and the construction of a strategic fuel pipeline linking Namibia and Zimbabwe, a transformative project expected to enhance energy security and drive industrial growth.
It's a broader investment, really. It's in hundreds of millions of dollars, maybe even up to $1 billion. But, we will tell you the amount as we go along. But really, it will be over $1 billion.
Founded in 1978, Dangote Global has evolved from a modest trading enterprise into a pan-African industrial powerhouse producing cement, sugar, salt, fertilizer, oil and gas products, and employing over 30,000 people across 17 African nations. The billion-dollar investment is set to stimulate growth across Zimbabwe's productive sectors, creating jobs, promoting value addition, and accelerating the nation's industrialization drive.
To do various investments in various sectors, some of which, of course, in a broader in cement, some of it in power generation, some of it in pipeline to bring petroleum products. We're in the business of producing oil. We have the largest refinery in the world, single lane in Nigeria, and we want to bring it to Walvis Bay and then pipe down here. So there are a couple of other investments which we're looking at.
Aliko Dangote, through Dangote Industries, oversees Sub-Saharan Africa's largest cement producer and operates the continent's biggest oil refinery, a $20 billion facility in Lagos, Nigeria. His industrial empire, spanning energy, manufacturing and agriculture, continues to redefine Africa's economic landscape, positioning the continent as a rising force in global industry and infrastructure development. Now, over $1 billion is expected to trickle into the Zimbabwean economy from the Dangote Group over the next few years. This, of course, is expected to bring about the much-needed transformation in the productive sectors of the Zimbabwean economy. Reporting for ZTN Prime, I'm Ibn Mabunda at the State House.
We are now joined live by an economist, Blessing Nyatanga, for more perspectives on this subject. Good evening, Blessing. Thank you for joining us on News Plus. What does the visit by Dangote mean for the Zimbabwean economy, especially from a policy standpoint?
Good evening. I think with the arrival of Aliko Dangote, it's going to spell out investment. And as far as investment is concerned, this is a multifaceted function which will actually have ripple effects on the economy. So with his arrival, I think it's going to improve the investment in the country. It's going to ultimately improve the levels of production within the country. And what this says about the country's investment policy is that the investment climate is favorable, because his arrival, it actually points out to that there is a lot of improvement as far as the conditions for investment are concerned. So what we anticipate is improved economic development and ultimate increase in the levels of GDP.
So Blessing, what's your take on the proposed regional oil refinery and pipeline from Walvis Bay, traversing several SADC countries, including Zimbabwe?
The construction of a pipeline between Namibia and Zimbabwe will actually improve the economy holistically, because you realize that fuel is the backbone of the economy. The first benefit will be cost reduction. Using a pipeline as a transportation for fuel is cost effective. So ultimately we expect that the fuel prices are going to reduce in Zimbabwe, and that is going to improve all the other aspects of the economy, because fuel helps in transportation of goods and services, and fuel also helps in the productive sectors of the economy. And then it's also going to create jobs, because there's going to be need for maintenance of these of the infrastructure that is the fuel pipeline. So the issue of having to construct a fuel pipeline between Namibia and Zimbabwe has got the ultimate benefit in the economy of Zimbabwe.
Now, Dangote did drop hints on investment in cement and agriculture. How will this impact Zimbabwe?
Let me begin with the issue of cement manufacturing. I think ultimately that is going to improve infrastructure development within the country, because what we expect from this move is that the prices of cement are actually going to decrease because of the healthy competition that is going to come with this move. So as prices of cement decrease, we expect that there will be more construction, and there will be an improvement as far as infrastructure is concerned within the country. And as infrastructure improves, we expect that other productive sectors of the economy will also improve. And then with the issue of fertilizer manufacturing, it will also improve the agricultural sector of the economy. With agriculture being the backbone of Zimbabwe, I think having fertilizer manufacturing happening locally is actually going to also decrease the prices of fertilizer within the country, and that is going to bolster agriculture, as there is an incentive to produce more in agriculture, and ultimately it's going to improve the GDP, and it's also going to help with economic development.
Blessing, thank you very much for your time. Have a good evening. We now cross over to Ibn Mabunda to crunch the figures for us on foreign direct investment secured by Zimbabwe over the years. Ibn?
Well, good evening. Let's take a look at the key stats in terms of the FDI inflows that have been coming into Zimbabwe. You will notice that you've got the ZEDA tabulated statistics vis-a-vis the United Nations Congress on Trade and Development Agency statistics. Now, according to the Zimbabwe Investment Development Agency, Zimbabwe has moved from a low of $1.4 billion in FDI inflows in 2020, moving right up to, of course, about $10 billion in 2023, and now just about $3.5 billion in 2024. Now you notice the huge disparity between these two categories of statistics, mainly because the United Nations Congress on Trade and Development looks at the value that trickles in through the central bank channels as tabulated. But when ZEDA tabulates, they project, of course, the figures in as far as even the investment that actually comes into Zimbabwe. Now, a quick look at some of the key areas of investment, of course, starting with the mining sector, one of the 4 key pillars of the Zimbabwean economy, which has sparked an interest, especially looking at the lithium resource in Zimbabwe. We've also seen increased investment where the mining resource is actually concerned, as well as agriculture. But on the agricultural front, this is where we have seen a huge flow, of course, where this particular pillar is concerned, particularly where the tobacco subsector is concerned. As Zimbabwe is Africa's largest tobacco producer and the world's 6th largest. We've also seen some activity where infrastructure, manufacturing, renewable energy in line, of course, with the green revolution, and there are indications that we could see more investment where the manufacturing sector is concerned going forward from this particular point.